Today, I'm very excited because I'm going to be talking all about the best affordable shimmer shadows I've ever tried, and that's the Writing Solo Single Shadows from Beauty Creations. And I've actually talked about this formula several times before, but they came out with, I want to say 18 new shades. I have 10 of them. These retail for $6 a piece, and honestly, compared to other shadows that I've tried, these are pretty top tier. Don't let the $6 price point throw you off. They're sparkly, they're easy to work with, they're not emollient, so the texture is going to work for a wide variety of skin types. We'll do overhead swatches, eye swatches, and 2 looks. Let's go ahead and get into it. First, we have the shade Supernova, which has a pale pink base and a strong blue-green shift. This is a duochrome. It's very light and ethereal, so you could also use it on the inner corner and the brow bone as a highlighting shade. All right, here's hoping that my eyes can handle doing all of these eye swatches because I really want to put these all on. So we're going light to deep generally. And I am probably not going to have the sparkle off between each of my eye swatches, but that's okay. Yeah, this is definitely a really pretty duochrome shade. Here's what Supernova looks like fully applied. And then see if I can get you a little bit closer, just so I can really show you that sparkle. Cowboy Era is a very sparkly champagne, and there's also some silver reflex. You'll be able to see as I go, some of the shades are definitely a little bit more sparkly and opaque than others, but spoiler alert, there's no duds. So the shade Cowboy Era, I wonder if that's a little bit of a nod to Urban Decay's Space Cowboy. I don't know. I mean, it's a sparkly kind of champagne. It's not the exact same, but it's in that same realm. Here is what it looks like fully applied. This is definitely, to me, more impactful, more sparkly than Space Cowboy, but they're accomplishing something a little different. You get a bit more of a PC effect, scattered sparkle with the Urban Decay. So I don't think that this is a dupe by any means. Here is what it looks like fully applied. Look how sparkly that is. That is gorgeous. Next, we have the shade Vaquero Crush, and I would describe this also as a champagne, but it has a touch more depth and a touch more bronze. I also don't find it to be as sparkly as Cowboy Era. Still sparkly, just not as sparkly. This is called Vaquero Crush. Here is what it looks like fully applied. And here is what it looks like closer up. Next, we have the shade Shooting Stars, and this one is another champagne, but I think you'll see when you see it on my fingertip, it is a lot more pale than the previous 2 shades. And it's also not as sparkly as Cowboy Era. It's very foiled, but you just don't see as much of the individual sparkle particles. Fourth eye swatch, going in with Shooting Stars. There it is on my fingertip. Then going to apply it. Every single time I swatch and use these shades, I'm just always blown away by the quality. I don't understand how the price point of these is what it is, and I also feel like people don't realize just how good these are. Next, we have the shade Rodeo Clock, which has a pale minty green base, and there's silver, blue, and pale gold reflect. Very cool shade, and definitely one that I think is going to pair really well with some of those deeper shimmers. This mint shade is so pretty. I don't know if it has a duochrome shift. I think it might, but either way, it's just so light, ethereal, and glowy. Here is what it looks like fully applied. A little bit closer so you can see that sparkle. All right, for my fellow blue-brown duochrome nerds, we have one now from Beauty Creations. This is the shade Boots On. They do have one that has a blue-green shift called Outa. That's a super pretty shade, but this is a true blue-brown duochrome. Not the most intense version of the shade that I've seen, but pretty nonetheless. It actually reminds me a little bit of Bobaholic from ColourPop. You know I'm excited for Boots On because it's a blue-brown duochrome shade, and this is the first kind of true blue-brown duochrome that Beauty Creations has done. Here is what it looks like fully applied. Now this isn't the most intense version of this type of shade that I've tried, but it is really sparkly, glowy, and pretty. And a little bit closer. Next we have the shade Western Wonder. I would describe this as a nice deep bronze shimmer. And I'm glad this is included because when it comes to neutral tones, I feel like there's always a variety of champagnes, but not always a variety of bronzes, especially ones this deep. The pigment of this one on swatching it was very intense. So I'm pretty excited to see what it looks like on the eyes. Yeah. Here is what it looks like fully applied, and a little closer so you can see that sparkle. Next we have the shade Rodeo Girl, and I would describe this as a cranberry shimmer with maybe just a hint of red. These deeper shimmers are just so incredibly high impact, like even on the first swipe. Here's what it looks like on my fingertip. Ooh, that one is so pretty. And a sparkle moment. Next we have the shade Texas Blues. This one definitely stole my heart. I would describe it simply as a nice rich teal shimmer. Look at how pigmented and sparkly it is even on the first swipe. No joke, this is probably one of the most beautiful teal shimmers that I've seen. This shade is crazy beautiful. Just have to show it on my fingertip here. I know you already saw the overhead swatch. Cannot get over this shade. I am definitely going to incorporate this one in a look. Here is what it looks like applied, and a sparkle moment. All right, the 10th and final shade that I have is Galaxy Crushin', and I would describe this simply as a beautiful, rich charcoal shimmer. This would be a really beautiful day-to-day one-and-done shade, but also something that you could definitely dress up. Shade number 10, Galaxy Crushin'. Also have to incorporate this shade into a look. I love a sparkly charcoal. And a sparkle moment. Here's what all 10 shades that we've talked about and tried on look like swatched my arm. All of the labels are from the wrist down. Let's go ahead and dive into a couple of looks. Inspo for the first look came from the promo pics. There were some absolutely beautiful looks that they used, and I don't know which shades that they used, but I think I might have something close to it. So I'm gonna start off with Cowboy Era, and it actually looks like it's kind of like a light dusting all over the lid. So hopefully I can get it to look a little something like that because I don't want it to look too opaque. Taking a smaller kind of flat brush and dusting it underneath the lash line. Now we're going to use this teal to map out kind of a sort of smoky, imprecise wing. I told you I was excited about using this shade, and I meant it. This is just a beautiful shimmer. Definitely going to have to resist from using it like the most out of any of these shades. And it doesn't have to be perfect because I am gonna add a little bit of definition with a smoky black kohl liner, but just adding a little bit on the lower lash line as well, just to connect them. Do you want to like make this wing a little bit larger? As the highlighting reflect, let's use the shade Supernova, and again, just a light dusting because I don't want it to be too opaque, but I want the blue kind of chrome, blue-green chrome shift to show as the highlight. So putting a little bit on the brow bone and on the inside here. And now I'm just gonna add a little bit of black kohl liner on the upper and lower lash line, just to add a little bit of smokiness. This is the first completed look. Second look, going in first with the shade Galaxy Crushin'. Just gonna use this shade to map out a halo. It's so pigmented and easy to work with. And the texture of these shades is not emollient whatsoever. And in the center of the lid, we're just gonna kind of do something oil slicky, like layer a bunch of shimmers. I do want to go in with this teal again, but just a little bit. I want to overdo it because it's quite a deep shade. And I do want to play around with some of these lighter shades as well. This is Rodeo Clock. Didn't use it for the first look, so definitely wanted to use this a little bit to layer. Putting a little bit on the lower lash line as well. And then I'm gonna finish off with Boots On. That's the kind of blue-brown duochrome shade. I think this will be really pretty thrown into the mix, and I'm gonna use it a little bit as a highlighting shade, just a light dusting of it on the brow bone and the inner corner. Night of Creation. Just going to, I love how intense these eyeliners are. Couldn't resist putting a little bit on the upper lid as well. Oil slick goodness. Now that I've had a chance to go through everything, let's close up with some wrap-up thoughts. I'm gonna keep it simple. The Beaute Creations single shadows are simply the best affordable shimmer shadows that I've tried. And these, to me, the quality is definitely like better than even a lot of high-end shimmer shadows that I've tried. So I do think that these are 100% an affordable luxury. I think the packaging is also like, you know, pretty nice for $6. Like magnetic closure, you definitely feel like you're getting a bit of a luxury experience. And you know, I just love the looks that I created. I'm very inspired by this collection. There's 18 shades, so you know, if you're looking to just like dip your toes in, you can pick up a few shades. The ones that really stand out to me are that teal shade, the charcoal shimmer, the Supernova shade, that was that kind of light pink with a blue-green shift, the blue-brown duochrome, and then the kind of light mint shade as well. But obviously, if you gravitate towards some shades more than others, those are my own personal preferences. I'd love to know what you think of my demos and these shades down in the comments. Have you ever tried Beaute Creations? Have you ever heard of them? Are they on your wish list? I truly do feel like these are a hidden gem. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.